everybody. Welcome to another Saturday night here with me, Peter Driver, here at Pescari Fly. Dry Fly December we're going to call tonight, so we're going to be doing a few dry flies throughout the evening, and I hope everyone's keeping well and looking forward to a bit of fly time, bit of chat and a bit of fun. Hi Paul Burke, good evening to yourself, sir. Mark is on there, Bernard Mannion, John Hawthorne, Graham Lanigan. How you doing, Graham? Hope everybody's keeping really well and everyone had a good week. Hi Brian Canty, all is good with me. Thank you very much, sir. I hope all is good with you. So say tonight's all about dry flies. We've after doing and covering. Hi Elaine, Elaine Munn's on there. Robbie, how you doing, Robbie? Robbie sent me over some great pictures during the week there of his mica powder creations. Fantastic looking nymphs there, Robbie. Well done. If anybody else has got any mica powders from 2 weeks ago, bang them over there. Send them over. Put them up there in the feed there, and let's share to the group and see how we're getting on. Daniel Quinn's on there. James Gibson. How you doing, James? Patrick Smith. Is the sound? How is the sound for everybody? The controls look like it's okay. Graham, Reggie, how you doing? Graham is in Sweden. I'd say it's cool over there. Okay, Graham. Neil Hamilton, hope you're keeping well. How's the sound tonight? One person come in there and just said there was a bit of issue with the sound. So is it him or me? Please, someone send me over a wee message there and let me know how the sound's going. Well, it looks to be okay here on the computer. Hi, Paul Jenkins. Hope you're keeping well. Bit low, but we can hear you. Okay, Neil, it's a bit low, is it? I have up to the max at the moment. I need to make some adjustments to that again. Just bear with me 1 second, and I'm going to try. Hi, Graham. Graham can hear me okay. Declan Noonan saying it's okay. So, Neil, maybe have a look at your device and see if it's turned up. Declan Noonan, hi Declan, hope you're keeping well down in Cork there on the Blackwater. So, hope everyone's keeping well. So, tonight's all about dry flies. We've got a couple of really good patterns for you. Now, we have covered a good few dries over the last couple of weeks. Hi, Graham Connolly. Hi, Conor McRae. We have covered a good few dry flies over the last couple of 2 months or so as well. But I got a couple of nice little patterns here for you tonight. And hi Dylan Roberts from the Welsh Tea. Hope you're keeping well this week. And did you manage to get out to get a greyling during the week, Dylan? But we're going to cover a couple of patterns that I've been using over the last number of years, kind of over the last decade or so. Hi Miles is on there. And they're worth sharing. Some of the better patterns we had kind of over the last hi Sean, hi Declan Smith, over the last kind of 2 seasons. So we've covered a good few of those now. And what else we're going to do tonight is something that we have kind of covered a bit before, but we're going to do it again, as a few people have asked me about it. Is a clink. Stephen Livingston, is that still not arrived, Stephen? No. I know everyone's gone so slow. Apologies, there's been some delays on parcels. There has been some delays on some parcels. It's just, on post services are just, and Royal Mail, you can see it all over Facebook. They're absolutely snowed under. I really don't envy them in any way whatsoever. Their task at the moment of trying to keep up with the demand that's on them. But yeah, sorry for anyone that got any stuff delayed. We do try to be as fast as possible. So, okay, I'm going to have a quick look at sound. Darius says that the sound is just a little bit low as well. It's just a little bit low. So I'm going to just play with this here for 1 second, if he's bear with me, and then we can see how that goes. So how does that go? Is that a bit better for everybody? Good stuff, Graham. Hopefully that's a little bit better for everybody. The mic seems to be picking up a bit. Hi Ted Worry. We just made a little change. These guys are a couple of seconds behind me, so don't mind. I'm talking away here, and actually the feed and the messages you don't get to see. The corrections I make only come through to you guys in a couple of seconds. So in a couple of seconds there, you'll see what the sound is like there now. Hopefully it has improved a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some nice dries. Okay, we got some lovely little thanks Chris. So what we're going to do is going to do some lovely little tries. And we're going to start with something that not everybody thinks about. Okay, well, a lot of people are aware of this particular fly that's on the water at a certain time of year, but it's not something we over focus on. And in a couple of World Championships a good few years back now, at this stage, in Sweden and in Norway at Worlds, this fly really was an important part of the artillery that, thanks Aidan, and Aidan, hope you're keeping well, was really important piece of artillery for most competitors, and it's the ant. Okay, the ant. Thanks Elaine. Elaine's on there and said, much better. That's great. A little bit of switching around there. Graham Lonigan wants to know how Dave Donovan got on at Penny's last week. So Dave, if you wouldn't mind sending us up a bit of a post there on how you got on at Penny's. All the boys know they were fierce worried about you here last Saturday night. You were dragged off to Penny's by Rita, and we were all kind of missing you a bit there. I think Dave will have a trivia quiz for us tonight as well, guys. So it'll keep an eye out for that one for Dave as we go along. Okay, so we're going to get started. So when we think of ants, most of us here, especially in Ireland, is we will hey Stephen Potts, hey Graham Walsh, hope you're all keeping well. Most people think of a black ant, and we tie them. There's lots of ant patterns out there. Okay, this is one I've been using for quite a while. Dave got himself a onesie. Good man, Dave. So this one I've been using over, say, for the last decade or so, and it's one worth having in the box. Okay, and I'm going to use red tying thread for this particular one. So this is a Hen's twist tying thread. It's really fine, and I'm going to use this particular one for this. It's not your standard kind of typical ant fly that you would be expecting, but this is absolutely on a warm, hot summer's night there, July, August. Hi Dolly Clark, hope you're keeping well. A nice, really hot, sticky, warm night there in August, July. This thing will catch you fish. I can guarantee you. It'll bring them up in the blind. It'll mop up. They will eat it like sweets. And it's tied with pink foam. Okay, so it's a pink ant. All right, anyone that's been traveling around, maybe Graham, Reggie Reynolds there, you might be aware of the pink ant up there in Sweden, but definitely in the Scandinavian countries, the ant flies, or anyone that's big into their tournaments, maybe if Terry Phillips or any of those guys are on there now at the moment, they would be aware of the pink ant. It is a real tasty little pattern. And it does work here in Irish waters as well, and one well worth using. I remember about 5 or 6 years ago fishing the Dean and Dinan in around Kilkenny and stuff like that in the hot summer's evenings. I know, when it's really frustrating, the trout, hi Peter Doherty, the trout are very fussy and they're picky, and you're going, oh jeez, they're just, you get a rise here and a rise there, and and there's fish rising all over the place, and you're switching and swapping flies the whole time. And I put this thing up one evening, and I mean, it was just carnage, like, and I only had one of them in the box. I think it caught 10 fish and 10 casts, and that was it. It went in shite, like. So went back home that evening, tied a blast, and went back out the following night, and really had a good week or 2 weeks fishing on him. Very simple pattern. So basically all I've done here is I've stripped off a little bit of a strip of my pink foam. It's that kind of, I wouldn't say baby pink, it's the real pink. I'm going to try to hold up that. You get a better idea if I hold it up to that camera. That colour pink. Okay, it's only a piece of craft foam, any kind of foam, but that's the kind of colour you want. Neil Walker's on there. Good man, Neil. Thanks for watching, and thanks for feedback on the sound. So basically what I've done, I've cut it off, and I'm just going to cut a very slight little taper on one section. Just nicking off the two corners to create just a slight little point. Has anybody else out there fished pink ants on Irish or UK waters over the last number of years? If anybody has any feedback on their ant patterns or anything like that, by all means, shoot it up there. If anybody else wants to say hello or ask any questions as usual, please do. Please do. I've got a size 16 Maruto DO4 hook here in the vise, by the way, if anybody wants to know. One of my favourite dry fly hooks. Really, really good hook. Really like it. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to plant that on there. Get the thread down just a bit lower. And the best thing about these things, they float like hell as well. They float like crazy. Very simple to tie. And say, if you're going out ant fishing, make sure you have plenty with you, because they don't last long. So I just tied it in there, the butt. And then I'm going to bring it up, and I'm just tying a second segment up there. Just like so. So you can see what I've done there. Okay. Hi, Colin Healy. Yeah, Graham is on there, and it's definitely an evening treat over there, Peter, with the excellent surface. it can't do wrong. Absolutely, yeah. It's a real treat up in those Scandinavian rivers and stuff like that. But it does work here in Ireland as well. It works in Ireland and the UK. And I'm not sure overly sure about the UK, but I would be fairly confident that there will be someone on there from the UK at some stage that will tell us that it does work. For a small little bit of a representation of a wing, we just got two little bits of crystal flash here, and I'm now going to tie them in there as well. Trim off the bit of waste. And we can just trim them off there, pretty much to the length of the tail. And you want them sticking up a little bit, okay? Hi, Christoph. Hope you're keeping well. Great to see so many people back on here tonight with us, guys. Hope everyone's keeping well. How's everyone's preparations for Christmas going? This time next week, or this time 2 weeks, it'll be all over. And we will be getting ready for our live Christmas show tomorrow, 2 weeks. The Sunday night, don't forget, the 27th of December, we're going to have a live Christmas show. We got loads of special guests. I asked last week, or I mentioned to everyone last week, Thomas Ankertel there is on from Cork, and Thomas said he's fished it local before, and it's a great fly. So that's great. Thanks for that, Tom. But next, or say Sunday 2 weeks, the 27th, I had asked last week for anybody that wanted to post a video and say hello and let people know who they are. Hi, Kevin Collins. Let them know who they are, because we're all on here together most weeks and we're having to chat, and some lads are getting to chat to each other that never met and don't recognise each other's face. So I said last week, if you've got a video or you want to send a video, just wish everyone a happy Christmas, let them see your face, and then I'll post it during the show. And it'd be great for everyone to see. And we got a great response. Got some great videos in there during the week from all over the world, which is brilliant. Like I really enjoyed sitting down during the week and seeing some of those videos. And there's some nice surprises in there for everyone. So we got a couple of guest tires coming on, and we got loads of great giveaway prizes and stuff like that. So by all means, if anyone's out there that wants to say a happy Christmas, it's been a tough year in a lot of people. So it's it'd be nice to say hello and let's have a bit of fun on the 27th. It's going to be a bit of crack. We got some good flies and stuff like that. So by all means do. So I've just tied in a little bit of kind of red game or brown hackle there, cock hackle, just into that segment. And I'm just going to put a turn or two of hackle in there. Dave Toohey is on there, and Dave was saying that he's often fished a parachute black one. How did you get on with that one, Dave? He's never fished a pink one, but he said he's fished a black parachute. So love to hear how you get on with it, Dave. Is it something that you really go to? So basically, I'm just putting 2 turns of that into that last little segment. Don't worry about the foam moving around a little bit. The fly is not finished, and we're going to secure all that in place in a minute. And when you're tying this, don't be trying to over secure it and stuff like that. This fly is one of those dries that is not meant to last that long. Quite honestly. And if you can get 10 fish on one of these dries, absolutely you're doing great. So don't worry about it if it falls apart after that one. There's not much you can do about it because of the materials you're using. We don't want to overdress it and try and over secure that in. Okay, so we've got that in there now. There's a little bit of stuff there just sticking out. I'm just going to tidy up that bit of a hackle. But say, when you're fishing those hot summer's evenings and trout are really fussy and they're going, geez, what'll I do next? You've got a little black dry, and hi, Martin Fennessy. Hope you're keeping well. You've got that little dry and a little black dry, and it's taking an odd fish, and you're getting on okay. But it is frustrating. You're not really achieving what you want to achieve going out on an evening rise in the late summer. Well, I can tell you now, a pink ant or even a black ant, as Dave was saying, they can be quite effective. Really can be effective. So it's definitely worth having in your box for next year, guys. Very simple, as you can see, a very simple little dry. One I've been using definitely for the last decade. I think it was at the World Youth Championships. Oh, I can't even remember the year. It's that long ago in Norway, and it was the pink ant was the dry fly of the championships. And I've kind of had it knocking around the box ever since then. And it's kind of one of those flies that I fish with it 1 year, get a great success with it. Don't fish with the following, I kind of forget about it then for a year or two, and then all of a sudden I'm rooting through the box and old box, and I find one. I must try that. Try it again, and hey, presto, you get another great night in it. So it's one of these flies that just reappear every now and again in my box. So I'm just trimming off that little bit of foam there again, and I'm just doing a similar little kind of taper as I did onto the butterfly. Out the back. And there you have it. Graham Lanigan's on there. He said he never saw anything like it. Well, Graham, one little turn of red thread there is just kind of missed. You can see it there just on that. But absolutely worth a try. I'm sure if you're fishing that on stocky rainbows, guys, as well, you would have no problem catching fish. So what we do, just to give that a little bit of strength, I say there's not much you can do really to to make that fly last an awfully long time. But what I do is get a little bit of varnish on it on a dubbing needle. And I just put a little bit there on that butt section, just in under on the underbody. And that'll help just keep it from twisting. And make sure that thread kind of lasts for as long as we can. I say if you can get 10 fish on that, and then it breaks up, I'm pretty happy with that. Any fly that. Hi, Kerrion. Kerrion's back on there from Australia. Haven't seen you the last couple of weeks, Kerrion. Great to see you back there. Hope you're keeping well. So that is the pink ant. Definitely one worth playing with. Definitely one worth having in the box. Very simple, guy. And, you can try a black version of that. I've seen red versions of that. That style of pink ant. It'll float. I know those kind of, those summer's evenings when the evenings start closing a little bit, or it's just, you're getting onto that edge of darkness where it's just really hard to spot something. You can put it up a tree, come on, Paul. You certainly can put it in a tree and you won't get 10 fish on it. But, and that thing just sits on the water so low, so lovely, and it is really, really a great fish catcher. And you can tweak it a bit because there's that bit of foam, and I'd often be on the flats there, and it's what I call stale fishing, is when, that that fish are just that bit fussier and you're just not really getting them. And I would put that up a flat and I give it little tweaks back along the flat, and I make the smallest little dimples on the water and bring a bit of life to it. And, you can just get that, again, a takeout of aggression or of kind of getting the fish's attention, and can be really, really good. And I do a very simple, hi Robbie Berry, hope you're keeping well. How thick is that foam? Dylan, that's about 3 mil. Okay, now when I tied the foam on that, I used the natural thickness of the foam. I didn't cut into the foam a bit, if you get what I mean. The thickness of that foam there on top is the natural thickness of that. Okay, it's about 3 mil. I've no ruler there. I would guess it's 3 mil. Okay, 3 mil, and you can all see the colour. Okay, and you get lots of colour pinks, but that's the kind of colour I've found to be the best. You can get a kind of pinky red. I see a lot of guys tying pinky red kind of stuff, but that colour pink is really, really good. And definitely simple little pattern, tie black versions of it. You can tweak that and tie a little hawthorn there now for the river as well, and put 2 little legs back out of that, and it's a really tasty little hawthorn fly as well, for those spring days. But definitely for the hot summer, guys and girls, get on the pink ant. Okay, yeah. What's this? My daughter was going on saying today, my 4-year-old daughter, pink makes the girls wink or something like that. So anyway, yeah, wherever she got that from. So there we go. That's the first one for tonight, guys and girls. And don't forget, as always, tomorrow I will post so Dave too is there back on, if you can all see that. Not so much a go-to fly, but okay, good. Have a good food box, no, for nothing else to decorate the trees and the branches. Come on, Dave. Nothing like sticking a few flies up the trees, and yeah, yeah. Hi, Sean. Yeah, definitely an interesting fly. That's been in and out of my box for the last 10 years. Definitely, there's always one stuck in there somewhere. And say, a couple of years back, kind of really did the job for me. And hot summer's evenings, when those ants are about, Robbie Berry's on there earlier this year, Peter. There you go. Robbie Berry's on. Said I tied him one there earlier on in the year, and he's got a million trout with it. So that's good. Not a million, but million trout with it. So Robbie's there, and he's been fishing that this year. I didn't actually fish any evening rise this year. Most of my rises this year were actually early in the morning. And for any really dry fly enthusiasts, next season, beyond the river at 4:30 in the morning. I tell you, the rise this year was phenomenal. 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning on daybreak. Absolutely, and one of the best times. Illuminated variety. You could illuminate that absolutely and get a lot of more high vis on it. But this year I was fishing an awful lot early mornings, probably because my young lad gets up around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning anyway. But a lot of early mornings this year, and Jesus, it was fantastic fishing. Fantastic dry fly fishing. First thing in the morning, really early. I even did a couple of nymphing sessions around 5 in the morning as well. And it was just a free-for-all. It really was. And it's a lovely time to go fishing. Maybe not so nice when you get out of bed, but once you get onto the river and have that swig of coffee and get down there, and the whole world is still asleep, and you feel like you're the only person that exists. Love that moment. and really good fishing. So I didn't get too many evening rises this year, but Robbie Berry was getting a few, so great stuff. So what we're going to move on to next is a real spring. This is a real spring dry fly pattern, and this is one that always is in my box, and one I will use very regularly during the spring. And I'm going to do this one in a size 14, again DO4 Maruto hook. And it's kind of a Christmassy kind of name to it. Anybody want care to take a guess what I'm going to tell you if I say it's a Christmassy kind of name? Dry fly. Another little hint would be it's a soft hackled dry fly. Anybody want to shoot across any guesses? Got a size 14 hook in there. Got a size 14 hook in there, and I am just looking here what trade. I've actually got some notes on some of these flies, believe it or not, because of what. No, David Coughlin, not a Hawthorne. Am I on the right trade here? I am. I'm making sure I'm on the right trade. So I got a darkish kind of. It's actually a medium olive here. Yes, Martin Fennessy, well done. Jingler. Yes, Jingler. What a great fly. How many people out there fish jinglers? They are a must in a dry fly box going out in March, April, and a windy May. Soft hackle dry fly, they can be fished. Probably, I would find them best fished across the river. Dylan, Paul Jenkins, not a cracker. It is a cracker. It's a cracker of a fly, but its name is the Jingler. And it's soft hackle dry fly. There's plenty of variations. If you Google it there, everyone's got their own little take on it. And it's one of those patterns you can be adventurous with it. You can try a few different things, but definitely want to have in the box coming next spring. This is kind of the variation that I've come to use over the few years. And I'm tying it on a size 14 because this is one now you'd want to have in March going out. So when those windy days, iron blues are about, there's a few iron blues, a few large olives, dark olives and stuff like that. And the wind is blowing them across the surface and they're fluttering all about and whatever else. Well, this is the dry you want that'll cast it across the stream and let that current whip it across and make the noise on the surface. And this is, they will attack it. Cheers, everybody, by the way. Hope you're all keeping well and everyone's keeping well. Great to see you all back on here on a Saturday night. And hope everyone had a good week. So, what I've done there is just add a little bit of cocktail on. Now, I've got a bit of stripped yellow peacock eye here, okay? A bit further down the eye, so there's not as much natural markings on it. And we're going to use this for our body, okay? Graham Connolly's on there. Best fly for the March Brown. He's best fly for March. Yeah, it is. It is a fantastic fly and one that should be in everybody's box. So I'm just now. I had another one as well that was just done with kind of a light olive, with just a tread body. So you don't have to do a quill body in it. You can do just a normal tread body, just a tread body, and that's it. And it's just about the softness of the hackle. I think it's also just the way it's fished. It's kind of fished messy, and the way a jingler should be tied properly is messy too. Jingler, it's I like it to be a messy fly, but most of that would know my style of tying would be kind of rustic anyway. I do a lot of brushing out, and I do a lot of pulling and dragging and stuff. So just tying in that nice kind of dark olive quill. So say that's dyed yellow, but because I've come further down the peacock eye, the clear well, actually it's not too bad in the camera. From where I was sitting, it doesn't look like that. But anyway, that's okay. Now everyone knows there's different ways to strip peacock quirl and stuff like that. Hey, Alan Kenny in Castlecomer, hope you're keeping well. Hope the boys are keeping well. There is a couple of different ways to strip peacock hair. We all know that, the rubber, the finger and the thumb, bleaching, different things like that. Or you can just go and buy them pre-stripped, and they're very good. I did see now, and I should have really got permission, but I'm not going to say how it's done, but I seen one of the greatest things I've ever seen last year in an Napguy workshop up in the north. Arthur Greenwood showed me something about stripping quills, and what I'll do is I'll contact Arthur during the week and I will ask him, can I actually get permission to mention that on the Christmas show of one of the most amazing ways I've ever seen strip peacock quilts. Fantastic. I couldn't believe when I saw it. And if I can get, if Arthur allows that, well then I will get that and will share with us on the, I shouldn't be the problem because he was doing it in workshops, but I like to have permission before I mention anybody else's kind of inventions or creations or whatever else. So we'll do that, but it was absolutely fantastic. So I just think done that one with it between my finger and my thumb. You can use the rubber either to strip it back, whichever. And just going to put a tiny little bit of resin on that one. Actually, I'll use the brush because I'm small. Don't want to over resin it. I just want a little bit there just to give that a little bit of security. So I can catch a few extra fish from it. Pat McCarthy. Oh yeah, leave us hanging. I want to see Pat. I'm trying to build up the suspense for the Christmas show. I want everyone. God, I can't wait to go on to see the peacock. Well, he's talking about peacock. I can't wait to go on and see the prizes. I'm trying to build up the old suspense. Oh, I actually accidentally hit that camera there. Sorry. So yeah, sorry Patrick. You're just going to have to bite and wait for 2 weeks. Tomorrow night, 2 weeks, the Christmas show. Make sure you all tune in. 27, and it's going to be the fun. But as I said last week, I want all you guys and girls to contribute to that show as well. So if anybody wants to, hi Ken Woodward, great to have you on there from Tunka Lake in British Columbia. So if anybody wants to contribute, send us a video. Send us something. Wish everybody a happy Christmas. Say it's been a real tough year on a lot of people, and let's have a bit of fun on the 27th where we all come together as a group. And we know it's great because most of the people here. Most of the people here are on every week talking and chatting, so it'd be great to see some faces. Tom O'Connor's got a good question there. What do you think is more important, Peter, presentation or the fly? For me, it's presentation. I think absolutely too, Tom. And I think a good few the dry fly, and I would certainly not consider myself as a dry fly specialist. I can tell you that now. Definitely not. But did I leave my UV pen downstairs? I bet you I did. And if I did, it can stay there and we'll just continue on. But I don't see it there, so I'm just going to dampen that with my finger, just take off that. But anyway, you UV resin that. Grant, you all know the crack. We've done lots of UV resin over the last couple of weeks. So we all know how to do that. Just to give it a bit of strength. No, I actually found it. Just hiding. Anyway, I'll give it a little blast because there's still a little bit left. There's enough. You all know the story with that stuff. But yeah, I think presentation is crucial, and and does the pattern again the same debate, Tom, as there's a few angry faces coming up there. People don't agree. If you don't agree, let's have your thoughts. Let's have your thoughts. For me, presentation is crucial. Again, you can tie beautiful dry flies, imitations of whatever you make it be. But if you don't present that fly right, well then, how if you put it in a big nest or if you make a big splash and spook a wary trout, well then I don't think how good that fly. I don't think how good that dry fly is tied is going to make any difference anyway. So, I think presentation has to be your first priority, and second priority then is that once you present it right to him, you hope that when he comes up to investigate it, that he's going to recognize it as something he wants to attack or eat. So, absolutely, Tom, I would have to agree with. But we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If anyone else has any kind of thoughts on what's the priority there when they're going dry fly fishing, by all means, shoot it up there, put it up, shoot it up and put it up on the page. Now, so what we're going to do here now is we're going to put on a hackle. Okay, so the Jingler has 2 hackles to it. Now I've seen people put in a dubbin underbody here in this thing, and under the hackle you can put peacock herl or you can put dubbins, stuff like that. I tend not to. I'm just going to pick the right little kind of brown. So we got kind of a nice red game brownish hen hackle. It's kind of a henny cock, if you all understand what I mean. It's kind of a stiff hen, and we want kind of a longish. We're trying this to get a bit of action on the surface. So when I tie it on a 14, I like something with a bit of length when it comes to especially the ginger or the brown hackle. So Dave is just put up a post there, guys. He's all seen it. Trivia question is coming along now, and because it's Dry Fly December night, what we're going to be giving away tonight is a free bottle of Pro's Choice. Okay, Dave May's dry fly treatment, really good stuff, very popular, and whoever wins the trivia quiz tonight will get that in the post. And don't forget, I will be asking the question tomorrow. that tomorrow morning, whoever gets the question right will get the dry flies tied tonight, and will also get anyone's I did a practice prior to the show just to warm up a little bit. So the one thing about the jingler is that the hackles are facing forward. Okay, so they're rather than the way we'd normally taper them back, especially using a hen hackle, that we would yeah, absolutely, Graham. I would totally agree with you. Yeah, it's great for us to come together, and we're all sitting around the world, and it's fantastic. It's been a geez. I've really enjoyed these Saturday nights. I look forward to them so much. Um, I look forward to them so much every kind of come Wednesday, Thursday. I start plotting and planning. So I'm just tying in loose hackle there for a minute now, and you're going to see what I'm going to do then in a second. So you're always trying to get those forward. And as you can see, the jingler is not meant to be absolute perfection. It's meant to be a little bit rough because you want that thing to roll across the way or the kind of the little riffles of the wind and stuff like that. So we're just going to hold that back there for a minute. I'm going to hold all that back with a little bit of thread there for a minute because we have a second hackle to go on that. Get all that back there, just out of your way for a minute. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add in a partridge hackle, okay, in the front of that. Dave, everyone's waiting on you, so you may get that question up now. Dave, I think Dave's got some good trivia questions for us as well for that show. So don't forget, folks, we won't be live next Saturday night. I know you're all going to be sitting around wondering what the hell am I going to do now. We're not. We're going to take a break. I'm going to take a Saturday night off. I'll have to spend one Saturday night with the wife this winter. So I'm going to take next Saturday night off. I'm actually just, don't mind me now, I'm rooting through. Robbie Phelan, how you doing? Hope you're keeping well, Rob. Our IT support is on there. I'll probably give a shout during the week, Rob, in relation to the Christmas special. Yeah, absolutely. Partridge and the CC hackle, Rob, is very correct there. There's a variation of this that has CDC and partridge mixed into it, and it's very, very good too. More of the original, and I just dropped the bloody one partridge that was actually really looking quite decent. Okay, I'm going to go with eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'll go with, no, I want to go this one. Okay. So I'm just catching the tip of the partridge hackle. As you can see, just getting it all stroked back so I can tie in that tip. Small space, brittle feathers can be frustrating. Just as I always say, take your time and don't rush it. If it breaks, it breaks. If it falls off, it falls off. Start again. Or, you're only talking about one hackle. What was the question there, Dave? I didn't actually see that question. I'm going to just go back there now so I can give everyone a shout on it. Obviously, there's lots of numbers coming in anyway. Dave Donovan, not including railway viaducts, how many bridges is there over the Munster Blackwater? Well, there's a great question. How many bridges is over the Munster Blackwater? Fantastic question. I know in the Avonmore, some great numbers coming in there. Some good guesses. Scott, Dave, you may be on the ball there to keep an eye up with those. So what I'm going to do now is just going to hackle this in the front with the partridge. And again, it's supposed to be all kind of folding over the eye. And I'm going to get all that facing there now in a second. So I'm not saying it won't work as it is. So I got a couple of turns of partridge in there. I just slipped on me there a little bit. That's okay. Get back in there and just put a bit more pressure on that. Lovely. That'll do fine for a minute. I'm going to get all that tidied up now. Once I get that cut out of the way, and just get it all just tucked back in there where it's supposed to be. A small little space. Using your thumbnail can be quite handy. for doing that. Get one turn at the eye, and then I take it all forward. Start to straighten it out. Get it all standing straight up, and then come back through the whole thing. Get back to that body. And all I do is stroke the whole thing forward, as you can see, and get a turn or two in at the back of that hackle. And those Kilkenny hackles will push all those nice, soft. And it is important, I think, in this fly, and a lot of the research I've done in this fly over the years, it has to be it is a soft hackle dry. Okay, so it's not your standard. I can't even tell you, maybe if anybody out there knows any in creators or inventor names on this one, you might shoot them across. So just getting a little whip finish in there at the butt of those two hackles on the back side, so that'll help keep them off facing forward. And I'm just going to get in there and snip it out. It's kind of awkward the way this whole camera and voice thing is set up. The voice is much lower. You can see me bend right down. The voice is much lower than I'd normally be used to. Normally that voice would be up to, up to chin level kind of, and I'd be tying like that. And it's really unusual come up here every Saturday night. The voice is so much lower, and I'm looking down nearly on top of the fly because the camera's set up to get it right for you guys, and it just makes tying just that little bit more tedious, trying to visualize the exact fly. So I'm just one or two little things I just want to take out of the way there. And there you go. I'd be quite happy with that jingler. Facing slightly forward, the hackles. You can see them lovely big long, those lovely big long, little bit of varnish then in behind that hackle. Great stuff, Miles. Yeah, you're more than welcome. I'll pass on that. Miles is down with us today, and he met Mark and had a good conversation about stuff, and hope Mark sorted you out there, Miles. But he was just saying he did, so that was great. Sorry, I was off drawing stones with my dad today. We were off down in a quarry getting stones up for a bit of something to keep me busy for the Christmas period. Going to do a bit of gardening work. Just put a little bit of varnish in there at the back of that hackle. Let's see, one other little thing now. I just want to get out there. A little bit of thing there at the back of the hackle, and wow, there you go, guys. David just put up the answer. So Sean Maher, well done. 23 bridges across the Munster Blackwater. Fantastic. That's some number. 23 across the... So well done, Sean. Sean, I will have that prize in the post to you Monday morning. Fantastic stuff. Well done. And thanks to Dave. That's what it's all about. That's what these Saturday nights are all about. It's not about just me here blabbering on and stuff like that. It's about other people coming on and taking part. And let's say, for the Christmas special, by all means do. If you got something you want to say, or post a thank you video to some of the guys on the group, or whoever's been giving you information and things like that, or just wish everyone a happy Christmas. But please send me on your video. Send it on Messenger, WhatsApp. Anyone's got my phone number, you can send it on, or email it to me, and I will bring them all together, stitch them all together. And throughout it's going to be a bit of a longer show. So throughout the show, we're going to be getting some. I'll be taking some breaks, and I'll be letting all you guys and girls do the talking for a few minutes. And so please, if you got it during the week, send it on to me. So there you go. There's a jingler that's been very good for me over the last number of seasons, and one definitely worth having in the box. One definitely worth having in the box for early spring river fishing. Okay, just tie it up there exactly whatever way it turns out. It's not meant to be pretty, but that's a pretty decent. I'd be pretty happy with that. What do you all think? Dave Toohey, would you fish that? You would, Dave. Dave's a fantastic flighter. If none of you are following Dave on Facebook or Instagram, you should follow him. That man is gifted. So yeah, absolutely, really, really good fly. One well worth having. And you fish it across the river, fish it straight up. Do I treat it, Dave? Do you know what? There's a great question. And I actually have something for you tonight. I really want to share something which is okay. So when it comes to treatment, there's loads of stuff out there. The market's plastered with greases and oils and powders, and they all have their place and they all have their time. Thanks, Chris. He's had catch, good stuff. Yeah, Kieran, that's called a jingler. Absolutely fantastic spring fly. So there's loads of stuff out there, right? There's dry fly treatments. There's heaps of stuff out there. But there's one that has stood out for me over the years, and I learned it a long time ago off a friend out abroad at the championships. And this is a game changer, guys. If none of you have heard it before, most of you that would have met me and talked dries in the shop or been at the shop and you're buying a few dries. I'd share this information with you. But anyway, the best thing you can get for dry flies. I know I bought myself a new can because I knew I was doing dry fly December tonight, and I said I'll share with you. So that right there is Universal. Now don't mind the company name, right? That's not what we're interested here, okay? That is leather shoe protector. Now when you buy a pair of leather shoes in a high-end shop, they will give you a little bottle of spray. Now it's got to be an aerosol spray, not one of those pump sprays. It's got to be aerosol, okay? Because it's got to be really fine when it goes onto the feather. That is a leather shoe protector. And basically the difference between that and an awful lot of other protectors that might be out there or silicone based, or a lot of them can be silicone. And basically what that does, it protects the fly from the outside, or protects the feather from the outside in from getting damp, or if you put it on a shoe or put it on a coat or anything like that, okay? So it creates a silicone layer, okay? This is not car stuff, Robbie. This is shoe stuff. It's for leather shoes or suede. The car stuff, again, is silicone based, covers it up, gives you a nice clean shine. Doesn't do the right trick, okay? So this is suitable for sheepskin, suede, leathers, and fabrics, okay? What this does, when you spray this on the fly, now you got to spray this on the fly the night before you go fishing, okay? So what you got to do is when I sit down and I tie a box of flies, or if I'm going dry fly fishing tomorrow and I haven't treated me flies in a couple of weeks or whatever, I just open the fly box out on the picnic table and I'll spray the entire box with it. If I've just tied a dozen clinks that are going into that box, tie them tonight, bring them outside, quick blast of spray on them, bring them back in, leave them there till tomorrow. They're dry in the morning, and I tell you one thing, guys, you will have never seen anything like this before. It is fantastic, unless you're using it already and I've told you about it, or someone else has told you about it. So basically what it does, it soaks, the chemical gets soaked into the feather, and it protects the feather. Put up near the voice, okay, I will do, Peter. So I'll try and get you a bit closer there. So it's Universal Protector. Okay, well, I actually put it up here, and you might be able to read. No, it's not. Sorry, I'm going to put it up here. So, what it does, the key component to why this is so effective. Let's try and get there. So the key component to why this is so effective is it soaks inside the feathers, the dubbins, the CDC, all that kind of stuff, and it protects it from the inside out. What it does for leather is it soaks into the leather. The chemical is left inside when the H2O evaporates, and it's that chemical that seals the leather from the inside out, so no penetration can happen. Okay, it's a large bottle. That was, I think, €8, something like that. Who makes it? Robbie, loads of company make it. It's not just, it doesn't have to be this one. This just happened to be the one. I was in a shoe shop the other day and I just happened to see it. I've got half a dozen cans of it downstairs in the flight line room. That's all different brands. You go into Dunn's. Ken Woodward is on there. He used to do Scotchgard, same idea, good stuff. You can go into Dunn's and get leather shoe protector. Go into any shoe shop you're passing by and just ask them, have they got a can, an aerosol can of leather shoe protector that works from the inside out. Okay, very, very important. It must work from the inside. It's not to be silicone based. That just puts a coating on the outside of the material. Absolutely, Joe Hughes, use it on CDC. I've been using this stuff for years. Definitely use it on CDC. Dries in, and once it dries in, I tell you one thing. One little flick of that fly in mid-air after catching a fish, bone dry. Sit straight back up on the surface. Not going to do for an entire day. You're not going to go out and catch, fish dries all day long, a little F-fly all day long, and it's going to work. But definitely, when it comes to shaking off that slime, when it comes to getting that dry fly to sit back up and that, just like it's, being put under water for the first time, absolutely class. So anyway, we've got someone on there has the Screwfix.ie, they have the Fabicel Universal. Someone has put it up there, so it can be seen. Yeah, good man, Neil. Well done. Thanks a million for that. Robbie Phelan wants to see the can again. So that's it there, Rob. This is just the one I happen to pick up, guys. This is a brand new can, okay? Good stuff. So along with all your mica powder for Christmas wishes, now you can buy yourselves cans of shoe protector. Go into your local shoe shop. Go into Tesco, probably have it. Dunn's, I've bought it in Dunn's before. Whatever. So Gordon White's on there. Great stuff, Gordon. So he believes that the Jingler was born on the Tweed. The inventor could be either of these two legends, Jake Harvey or Grant Gibson. Not a bunch of thanks a million, Gordon. That is great information. That's what I love about this Saturday night, is learning. That's something new I learned here as well. One for all in the audience. Graham, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But leather shoe protector, 10 lads. Dry fly men out there, that is, and I'm not. He's most of the people that know me. Nymphing is more my game. I do dries because as a competitive fly fisher, you must be able to do everything nearly as well as the other. But if I could choose, my nymphing will always my go-to. I'm a bit stronger on nymphing than I am in dries, probably because I don't put enough time into it, which I should. Good man, Kieran. But definitely, I found that over the last. I think it must be. Jeez, it could be Dave. When did we learn that? That was given to us a long, long time ago. I think it was Alessandro shared that with us a long time ago. And if you're going fishing and you want to bring a little bit with you just as a top up, get a sealed bag, spray a bit into the bag, and it becomes a liquid in the bottom of the bag. And you can have it there as a little bit of top up, use it for your clink posts and stuff like that. But I'd often go dry fly, especially for the likes of F-flies. I would never treat an F-fly on the river. I would never put any gels or silicone-based stuff on a CDC on the river because I think it just destroys the fly, to be honest. From the way I like my presentation, I could be wrong, but that's just me. Okay, it's just the way I do it. Where if I treat that the night before and that soaks in, there's no visible aspect, or effect to that fly on the bank of the river. It's dry. It looks like it's just come off the vice. You've put nothing on it, and it will sit right up, sit really high in the water. Really good stuff. So there's more. Robbie Phelan's got it there. Outback Jacks, Fabel. But again, lads, it's not about the brand. Don't worry about the Fabusil. That's not. There is an abundance of companies out there that make water a leather shoe protector, but it's got to be the stuff that soaks in and works from the inside out. So make sure if you're going into a shoe shop, just make sure that's what it is. It's not silicone based, so it doesn't sit on the surface and puts a protector on it, because that's not worth a damn. That'll only last a couple of fish, not even maybe one fish, a couple of splashes, and that starts to wear off. Gotta be asked. So whoever asked that question, I had that brought up here tonight. Was going to mention that at some stage. So there you go. Hope that's a little tip that helps us out in the coming season. Right, bit more fly time. Maybe another little sip of Heineken. Cheers, everyone. Hope everyone's having it. Hey, Conor Cagney. Do I spray it on all the clink? Pat McCarthy. I spray it on the entire box. So I do. I spray the whole thing. Hi, Alexander. Alex is on there from Sydney. Hope you're keeping well, Alex. Hope everyone's well out there in Australia. Pat, I literally lay the fly box out on the table and I go the whole way across that fly box to give it all a top up. So absolutely, Robbie Berry, Geek on an F-fly just destroys it. I would totally agree. Some people mightn't agree with us. The powders is pretty popular. Those dry fly powders. And you can use that as a topper up to that spray, but definitely that spray, let's definitely give it a go. So what am I going to do next? Next, I'm going to do a little. I think I'm going to do a CDC upwing. I'm going to stick to something that's kind of early season, and then I'm going to go on and do a clink. I know we've done clinks and stuff like that before, but there's been a few people that have been asking about clinks and whether go put another one up. So I'm just going to do my basic clink, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to do another little dry fly for you. Sean Matters is using CDC oil sparsely for CDCs. I've used that in the past, Sean. Not really. I'm saying I was never happy with it, but just never probably used it enough to really get any kind of an opinion on it. Do you find that works really well, Sean? Do you? So next thing we're going to do is CDC upwing, and I'm looking for another 14 here. So I'm going to use another Maruto DO4. I do like the Maruto DO4s, as you can all guess from my dries. And I'm going to put that in. So this is a little CDC fly. I call it the Upwing two-tone olive. That's my name on it. And lovely little fly. Real, again, one of those lovely springtime coming into the start of summertime flies that, is real attractive. Can be fished on any type of water, really. And if there's a fish looking up, they find it very hard not to come up and investigate. So I'm using a Primrose tine thread. And I'm going to put a little Coq de Leon tail here. Sparse. Just 3 or 4. Now you can tie this on any size hook you want. For springtime, though, I'll use a size 14. So as I was saying, next week we're not going to be live, unfortunately. I'm going to take a Saturday night off. And then we have the Christmas special the following week. And then I might take a break again for a week. And then we're going to start back in towards the end of December, January. And we're going to do a couple of really specific shows. We're going to do one on... we're going to do a show on spiders and wet flies and how to fish them right. We might even get Dave Donovan up here from the Blackwater if restrictions aren't in place, and he might give us a bit of a co-host here. I know Dave would definitely be, in my book, be a master at the wet fly. And we're going to do a day or a Saturday night on streamers. A few other things that I want to do kind of over the month of January. So we're going to keep it going for a while. Now we're just adding in a little bit of fine pearl. This is a Sabaya. You'll see it on the online shop. This is a Sabaya fine pearl. Really, really fine. Really good for doing just a little. I wanted just a little fine sparkle butt on that. Now I'm not going to put the pearl over the thread. So the pearl starts and I go down over the hook and over the tail. If you get what I mean. Everybody get that? So I'm just going back. I tied in the pearl, went back onto the naked hook, use that to just tie in the tail in position, and I come back up to the thread. I just want that tag to be as slim and minuscule as possible. I just love that tiny little bit of sparkle on this fly, just right at the butt. You kind of can make it out there, okay? Where if you put thread there and then put that on top of it, it just takes that real nice shape away from the body, I find. So I tend to just run that one down along the hook a little bit, okay? Very, very minuscule, but very effective the same. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put a two-tone body in this, okay? So you got your normal pearl, your normal primrose thread there. And now what I've got is cobbler's wax, okay? So if anyone's ever used cobbler's wax, this is fantastic stuff. Been using it, as you can see, my piece, there's an original piece by Simpler Fly, quite large. You can see it there. We have it in the shop below. A nice large piece of cobbler's wax. That's what I'm onto at the moment. Okay, so I do use it quite a bit. You got to warm it up in the hands a bit. So normally when I'm tying, I've got it in the hand. I had it in the hand there before we even started, just to get a bit. It can be quite stiff, and it can actually be brittle to your thread. So get a little bit of body heat onto that, just through your hands, and it just softens the outer coat a little bit, and it helps to do that. And all I'm going to do, so what I've done is I've came up there 4 or 5 turns up that body, and now I'm going to add in my cobbler's wax onto the thread. Okay, so I just gently, don't overlook to plaster this on right from the start, because your thread can get stuck in it and you can snap it or fray it. So just take your time and just massage into a small piece of thread. Don't go mad and do a whole heap of it. Okay, and just let that thread start to sink into that little bit of softened outer layer of wax, and you can see a little bit of colour change there. Okay, and there's going to be a little bit of build up of wax on this too. We're not going to take it off, not for the moment anyway. Okay, we're going to leave that on there for the moment. And what I'm going to do then is just start bringing that up the body. Continuing on that natural taper. And as you can see, it's getting a slight little tone, a darker tone. I'm going to add another little bit onto the next segment. And it gives a lovely subtle kind of colour taper to the body that, you're going up to a lovely kind of natural kind of darker primrose colour as you come up the body there. Up to about there. Use up all my wax, and I'm quite happy with that. Okay, you can't really see, but you can see that kind of colour change. Graham Flanagan, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Davey McPhail will kill me. So what I'm going to do now to just give that a little bit more of a natural transition. Absolutely, Dave Tootie. I was just going to mention it. Greenwell Spider. Okay, so the Greenwell's Spider wet fly. Cobbler's wax is for the traditional, and we'll be covering that during the wet fly. So all I'm using is the little hook part of me whip finish tool. Get in around that body, and I'm just making sure all that wax is nicely layered forward and back. Any loose bits then will come off, and you're kind of massaging, you're kind of waxing, nearly polishing it with that little curvature of that piece of tool, and it gives a lovely, very smooth finish and a little bit of a sheen off it. Just looking at the video, not quite visible on the video. You can see it's a very natural looking little sheen off of that one. So that's pretty good. Okay, now what I'm going to do is get some natural CDC, and I'm going to get 2 larger kind of plumes. It's one of those dries that again, it just looks fishy. It is fishy, and it catches fish. So definitely, and it's just even just this style of dry. You know, I love this kind of style of dry. It sits up nice and high in the water, very, very visible, even though we've no kind of colour additives in there to. So basically, I've just got my 2 CDC plums, put them side by side. Going to strip them off, and I'm going to pinch them together. And then when I've pinched them together, and you can see I've got those curly kind of little bits of curly cues there at the end, and I'm going to just cut them out. But I don't just go straight across. I kind of go in at a slight little angle, and I snip them out. So I'm not, just cutting it straight across, having an unnatural cut. I'm just kind of getting in there, snipping out some of those little white kind of curls, and just teasing it out. And once I've got that teased out, I place that on the table in front of me, and then I take the opposite side, and I do the same to the opposite side. And see again, and just get in there and take them out. You have a bit more of a natural kind of cut to it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these and I'm going to place them on top of each other with the cut ends overlapping, if you get what I mean. So all I'm going to be left with is 2 natural ends sticking out. The cut ends are going to be in the middle. So that's what I have now. You can kind of see it, okay? You can see the cut ends in the middle, 2 natural ends, okay? You can take out some of the longer ones and just move them back in a little bit. Now I don't mind a high wing on this, okay? I kind of like a high wing on it. Makes it extra visible in those spring waters. And now I'm going to just tie it in a top in the middle. Couple of turns just to secure it in there. Pull forward the front piece, facing it over the eye, and a little bit of a wedge of thread in there behind to make it sit up. And the same at the back. Don't go too mad with the thread. We'll get that wing exactly as I want it. Now in 1 second. I'm going to put 1 turn around it just like we would the post with clink hammer. And that's basically just to get that wing to come together. Like so. Okay? Happy with that? I am. Alright. So once I got that done there, I am then going to put in a bit of a double thorax. So this is where normally the Kevlar makes this so easy. We're going to split this this wax thread. By the way, this Primrose wax thread is by Semplify. Really good. It's their classic wax thread. They got some great colour range. We have it in the shop below, so by all means, check it out. There's something I actually want to mention as well, guys. Just popped into my head there. A good friend of mine, Josh Walker, he's going to be on here for the Christmas special. He's going to send us over a Christmas special from Finland. But Josh, as most of you know him, runs a business called Fishcoin and Flyfish Live. Flyfish Live will be starting again soon. Most of you seen that last year. Myself and Dave and Mark and a few other guys took part in a kind of a pilot scheme. That's going to be starting now, I think, in the end of December some stage. But he has a Fishcoin app, and I've seen the videos. I'm not sure how many of you have actually seen. That's split quite easy. Have seen the videos and the kind of introduction thing to the Fishcoin app, but it is going to be absolutely fantastic. I think it's going to be an absolute amazing thing to have. I am so looking forward to getting involved and getting on that Fishcoin app. But he is a bit of a Kickstarter right now at the moment taking place, guys. And if any is feel generous enough to pop on over there to Josh's Fishcoin page in Facebook, and he has a Kickstarter going on there, and he'd surely appreciate anything from €1 to whatever you want to give. So if anyone is willing to share with something with Josh, you will see him here at the Christmas special. He will be on, not live obviously, pre-recorded. He will be sending over a nice message from Finland. So all I'm doing here is spinning a very fine piece of squirrel dubbing. Very, very fine, okay? You only want the bare amount of it. And even at that, I'm still going to go back on and just pluck out some of the long fibre. So I've only just, you can see it there. Not a whole lot on that, okay? And what I'm going to start doing now is I'm just going to start getting that in around. Creating like a little thorax to that dry. Making sure those CDC feathers all stay upright. And I can tell you one thing, you will see this thing from a mile away. Don't worry about those little fibres now for a minute. I'm just making sure I have. Just pull out the last few there. Don't really want them for the moment. I think I have plenty in there. Get them all back. Expose the eye. Make a little bit of room. And get in there with the whip finish. So that Sean Crosser, that's that dubbing is fox squirrel dubbing. Bit of fine fox squirrel dubbing. Graham Lonigan's on there. He's not so much fan of spinning. For that, I'm sorry, Graham. You're going to have to spin that one. You won't dub on that fine. You just won't get it, and you won't get it to hackle out like that. So you can put a very small amount in there and get it in there sitting around that so well. There's just times you're going to have to do it. So if you don't like it, sorry, Woody, you're just going to have to suck it up. And you're just going to have to suck it up. Hi, Giovanni. You're just going to have to suck it up and do that. You're going to have to spin that. For the likes of that in a dry flying, that small bit of space, you don't want to bulk it up. And you want it to be very secure. Well, then, by all means, you're just going to have to split it because it's really fine. As you can see, it didn't overpower that fly. And, added this lovely kind of natural underbody to it. And a real nice kind of transition from the body up into that wing, as you can see there. Okay? It kind of attaches the whole thing together. I have certainly fished with a high wing that high. If I'm fishing fast water, wing that high. If I want to make it smaller, that wing smaller, catch the fly in the thumb like that, and just go along with your other finger and thumb, and just break them off, roughly. Don't cut it with the scissors. There's nothing worse when I see someone getting that, putting a scissor straight across it, cut it dead square. That's not the way to look. That's your dry fly. That's a really good dry fly. Really, really good. Really, real good fish catcher. Nice two-tone body to it. A little bit of sparkle at the butt. Little tag there if you can't see it or if you joined us late. We have a small little pearl. Tag on that. Two-tone body with the cobbler's wax is fantastic. Cobbler's wax is amazing stuff. If you haven't used it, get some of it. Say we got online, but really good when you put it over Primrose Trying Thread. As Dave Toohey was saying, Greenwell's absolutely crucial for a Greenwell Spider Glory. So yeah, it's a really good fly. As you can see, it looks the biz, and that will, one good spray, and that's going to float. That's going to get me plenty of fish this spring. Yeah, absolutely going to catch it. Going to catch some fish with that one. Thanks, Sean. Thanks. Hope everyone enjoyed that one. That's a real good dry fly pattern. Would it not fall flat? No, Rick. No. If you don't put that under hackle on that, and because if you can see, if I can try and show you the actual, you know what I mean, the CDC is so fanned out that will support that dry fly. No, but really good point and a good question. I've never found that to fall flat, even with a high wing. The Kenwood would name of that one, two-tone up-winged olive, I call it. That's you can call it, anybody can call it whatever they want, but because just the way that the wing is tied on that one rink, it will not turn over. No, absolutely not. And because we've just we kind of married with that CDC, excuse me, with that Dublin brush, really made that CDC the transition between the body and it kind of stabilizes a bit. So no, absolutely won't turn over because it will fan out quite wide, almost like a clink. So no, that'll sit beautifully in the water and will not. Thanks, Rink. No, and even with a really high hackle, and I have had that problem, Rink, and it can be a problem. Especially with clink hammers and stuff like that, people tying their posts and stuff too high, or there are different dries too high that it'll fall over on the side, and you mightn't be aware of it. Like so, something to be aware with when you're tying your flies. But it's something I've been aware of when I'm dry fly fishing and tying my flies to make sure they sit perfectly in the water. Do you know what, Peter? I will. Thank you very much, Peter. I can take a drink. Cheers to everyone. Hope everyone's having a good week. So now, I'm going to do another little F-fly, okay? I can't even remember where I came across this little thing. Very, very simple. But there's a technique to this that I just want to kind of show some people that mightn't be aware of it. And that's kind of tying in hurl bodies on dries. Sebastian's on there. One spray on it will last the whole season. I wouldn't say the whole season, but depends on how many fish you're catching. Depends on how many fish you're catching. So this is a size 18 DO4. And what I'm going to do here is a small little pheasant tail F-fly. Very, very simple little fly. But deadly. Great for the olives. Great for all year round. We're going to use our Kevlar for this one. Kevlar is a must for this one. You'll see why in a minute. So now I see people tying dries. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, or does anyone else have the same opinion? But for me, putting wire ribs on dry flies is just totally defeatist to the purpose of what you want that dry to do. I know it can still float with a wire rib, but it's adding weight to the fly. And I see, you know, I have seen over the years people tying dries, little herald dries, like, you know, pheasant tail or heron herald or whatever it may be, and they put a wire rib on it. I just can't. Am I the only person that thinks that way? I have a little bit of copper. This is not wire, by the way, if anyone's wondering. A little bit of copper sulky from Gutterman going in there as a little butt. Again, very similar to the butt we done the last time. This time it doesn't have to go back over onto the blank hook. But I just want a little bit of a copper butt on that. How's the snow over in Tunka, Kane? Is there lots more there since last week, or are you expecting? Dave Donovan's on there giving out about smoking. Yeah, we all know, Dave. We all know, unfortunately. A little bit of pheasant tail. 2 to 3 fibres, and that's it. No more. As I always say, I tend to tie in 3, because tying them in by the tips, there is a good chance one of them are going to break. And I can complete a fly with 2. I can't complete a fly with 1. So if one breaks, it's not the end of the world. I can continue on and finish with 2. If there's 3 there, it's still okay. And I was just bringing the thread down there slowly, as you can see. It's a small hook. I only want a small copper tag on that. I don't want hardly any there now, is there? All right, Ken. I don't want a massive tag on that. I just want a subtle little tag. So let those 3 hackles kind of fan out a bit. So it's nice. It's not, you know, we're not tying a big fat chunky pheasant tail nymph here. We're tying a little pheasant tail dry. And we want to keep that body nice and neat, as you can see. Okay. So what's the thing here is now, how do we secure in that pheasant tail? You can put resin on it or glue on it. Again, Kieran Sherlock, use it as a rib. Yeah, that's one way, Kieran. Absolutely. Leave the thread out the back. Use that as a rib, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to use our thread as the rib, but what we're going to do is not leave a piece out the back. We're actually just going to double it up, and okay. So with the Kevlar, I can take a brown marker and I'm going to colour that Kevlar brown. Now, if I was doing a heron herald here, or any other colour heralds, I would just do a similar colour. So make sure you got enough of it, okay, and colour it brown. Then spin your Kevlar. Get it as small as possible to make it as fine as possible, and it will be fine. Tom O'Connor there is saying, oh, the Liffey boys are deadly. Absolutely, some of the best dry fly men I know in this country are from the River Liffey in Kildare. Fantastic dry fly men. I was lucky enough to be controlled by Nicky Moore a few times, and man's is a wealth of knowledge, an absolute wealth of knowledge when it comes to dry fly. Definitely taught me a few things on those couple of days when the competition was kind of well over and done halfway through the day and I wasn't going to do any good. He kind of gave me a few tips and stuff. Really enjoyed those couple of days, Nicky. But some fantastic dry fly men up there in the Liffey. Really know their stuff. If any of you want to come on for the Christmas special there, North Kildare Anglers, and do a little video of some of your top dries, we wouldn't say no, I'd say, as a group, would we? So anyway, I just spun the living hell out of that before it's just about to snap. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wind it down the body. And then I'm just going to jump it back up. As you can see, you can hardly even see it. Alright, still there, perfect. This is a size 18, by the way, a small size 18. That thing is tiny. So you can hardly see it, but I can tell you that will be the last thing to go on that hook. Okay? Absolutely strong as an ox. Never going to fall off, never going to break, never going to start to shred or anything like that. And that's going to take as many fish as you want to get. Everything else is going to be gone off the hook, but that pheasant tail body is still going to be there. So what am I going to do now? Last little thing on a little F-fly, a little bit of CDC. Just selecting me kind of river size feathers here for this. I like a nice soft feather with the core or the kind of stem to be not completely up through the entire feather at the very tip, if anyone gets what I mean. And I did, if John Ruby, if you're asking me that, I did. Last Sunday I got out for a shot. I didn't shoot in, but the guy with me got two. We put up about 4 or 5 cocks. A couple of hens. It was lovely to get out. I didn't give a damn because if I shot in. It was just so nice to get the dog, get into the car, and just go rambling fields. Fantastic. A little bit more over the Christmas now, and I'll be happy with that. Graham, there is, and that's the best thing about this, Graham. There is so much to learn, and even for likes of me, like every night I come on and do this, I'm learning most nights as well because of all the participation of people here. So there's so much to learn in fly tying and fly fishing, and that's what makes it such a great sport. You never stop, and even after 20 odd years of living, eating, and breathing it literally, I still learn something new. All the time. Fantastic, that's what I love about it. And I think when you stop learning, it's time to give it up. Not because you've learned everything, because by the way, that's impossible. Anybody out there that thinks they know everything, it's no, you don't. It's just that you've stopped listening and you've stopped looking. So advice for everybody out there that's watching or listening: never stop learning, never stop looking, and never stop listening, because there's always something new. Really good question there from Miles. And I'm going to leave that up to the group to answer. So, experienced dry fly men, should you vary the strike time depending on the size of the trout? Really good question. For me, I would be saying depends on the equipment I'm using too. Would play a factor in that. But let's see what the group thinks of that question. If any of the guys out there from North Kildare, Peter Doherty, or any of those guys that would be really, really top class at their dry fly fishing, what would your advice be there for that one, guys? A little bit of a whip finish there. As you can see, I completed that fly with the brown colour. Okay, didn't go back to black or anything like that. Completed with the brown. And that's that little left fly. That is a beautiful, beautiful little left fly, as you can see. So simple. 3-4 components. Little bit of copper out the back ass of it. 2 nice little soft feathers on it. And I tell you one thing, that will take trophies, no problem again. And that's an F fly. Anyone that's not overly used to it, that's, you can sit there and you can tie a threaded F-fly with olive, black, red. It's just amazing. What some people do there as well, by the way, is they put a turn or two in under the back of that drive, under the back of that wing to get a little kick on it. And I can do that on some of the olives and stuff like that, but not on this one. This one I wanted to sit down like that. And if I was doing a black one, it'd be the very same. Paul Jenkins says count the time between the rises. Interesting. What do you mean by that, Paul? But just really interesting. I've never heard that before. So Dave Donovan is on there and suggests Miles, even the surface tension can make the difference to strike time. Good stuff. I know something I've been told, whether I'm right or wrong now, guys, but I was told get everything on the surface, bar the last foot or so. Would candle wax suffice? Candle wax for what, Peter McCartan? For the cobbler's wax? If so, no. Cobbler's wax is a shoemaker's wax. It's a real unusual makeup texture. I'm not going to tell you when my wife saw it on the table what she suggested I was doing, but it's a real unusual kind of texture and colour inside of it. There's almost a shade of olive in it. It is an actual olivey kind of dark olive wax. Peter Doherty's on there, and really good point there from Peter. No, just lift into them. No need to strike. That's a really good point, guys. Hitting them too hard sometimes can be, just lift into them. Feel the way that fish pee, I'd say, is it? John Hawthorne's on there as well. Lift into him when the line goes tight, or you'll strike the hook out. Really good point. Thanks, guys, for that. That's brilliant. Fantastic information coming in there on the strike for trout for dry. But that's the cobbler's wax, as you can see it. If that's what you were on about there, Peter, just let me know. And that's covers that one. So look, before we go, I am going to do a clink. I know we've covered clinks before and stuff like that, but a few people have been asking for a clink, and I want to just cover that for a few people. And don't forget, tomorrow I will be putting up a question based on tonight. Dave too, he's adding to that there, and he's saying that the size of your fly, the size of the fly you're fishing can determine your strike time as well. Good stuff, lads. It's great information. And this for anyone that hasn't seen tonight or wants to watch this back to see some of them comments, I know I sit down and I meant to say this over the last couple of weeks. I don't see everyone's comment. You can put some tails and F-flies, and I do. Not that particular one. Okay, just not that particular one. But yeah, some of the olives and stuff like that, I do put tails on them. But I don't see everyone's comments because I'm watching two screens here. One is delayed by about 6 or 7 seconds. The other one's in time with me. So I don't get to see everyone's comments. But I do sit down most nights after the show and I've tidied up the mess I made. And I watch it back and I get to read most people's comments. Yeah, Michael Callaghan's on there. CDC is one of the main components. Absolutely. Right, I get what Paul is saying. So he's saying count between each rise, so you know how often they're rising. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, good man. Thanks for that, Paul. Yeah, just back to Michael there, and it's a really good point as well. CDC is one of the most important components. And I was going to do a little CDC parachute tonight as well, but I'm just not getting time to get through them all. So we might do a CDC parachute at the Christmas special. And I've got a really, really interesting sedge fly coming that the lock style anglers and river anglers are going to want to see this. Tied with some material that you've probably never tied with before, but most of you have used it in the wing case, and it's indestructible and absolutely fantastic. So that's coming in the Christmas show. And if anybody's got any videos that they want to share for the Christmas show, please do text them on, message them on, whatever it may be. Would love to see them and love to share them in the group. So if you've got a free 2 seconds or 2 minutes during the week, take out the phone, take a video, say hello, wish everyone a happy Christmas, and text it on to me, and I will put it up at the Christmas show on the 27th of December. So I'm going to use a bit of, just time in my post here first. So this is our own stuff, our own Piscari Fly Parapost. You got the high vis pink and the high vis orange. It depends on yourself. You know what I actually did a lot this year, and I found it fantastic. I started using black for my Paraposts. Anybody else out there using black? Black Parapost. Oh jeez, I tell you one thing. There was a few times when I was down in the north there, and I could hardly see, no matter what colour I was putting on, with the glare that was coming down the river, whatever way the sunlight was hitting and whatever else. I just fucking, jeez, you know what? And I put up a big dark olive kind of CDC thing, and I could see it much better than the high vis pink or orange. Went home, tied a few clinks with just pure black Parapost, and my God, it was a revelation for me. And maybe I'm behind the times here. Maybe there's lads already out there that have been doing that for years, but geez, no, I found it fantastic anyway. Black Parapost. So just tying in a bit there, coming back around about a quarter of the way down the hook, couple of turns there. This is how I do it. I know everyone has their own way. This is just how I do it, guys. I'm not saying this is the right way. For me, it is what I'm used to. And I'm just creating that post sticking up, as you can see. Very important to get that up there, good and strong, sturdy. That's your base for the hackle. Aidan Gill is on there. Black is very good. So you've been using it as well, Aidan, have you? You found it good. I found it fantastic this year. And looking for a little bit of, maybe I didn't bring that up. Okay, so what I normally use here is, no, and I really don't see it, so it mustn't be here. The Pearl Microglint, but what I have here from the tying the what you call a fly, the pink ant, I have a little bit of crinkle flash here. So I'm going to tie in only two little strands of crinkle flash. Now if I was tying in the microglint, it would be a doubled over piece of microglint and brushed out. I want a little kind of tail on this, or a shook is basically what this is to represent. Okay, so you know, some people ask me what's the best emerger to use. Klinghammers. So if I'm tying in a little tail, can represent a chunk of that emerger pattern that you're trying to imitate. This is my one. This is probably the one I tie the most for myself. Very simple pattern, but just the one I tie mostly. I seem to get, you know, when you're tying clinks, I always say there's a good clink that's used for a dry dropper must achieve 3 things. Okay, really, really important. One, it must be visible. Okay, so you've got to be able to see it in all situations. If you can't see it at some stage, there's no point fishing a dry dropper because you can't see the take. Okay? And another thing, it's not always going to drop. Sometimes it's only the barest little tweak. So as I say, any unnatural movement to the flow of the river that it's drifting on, you strike. Because more than likely, that's something that's after hitting your nymph, okay? So you've got to have the visibility. So it's got to sit high, and the colour's got to be right. So if you got to use black, use black. You got to use pink, white, red, whatever it may be. Use whatever you have to. You got to be able to see it. That's one. Second thing, it's got to be able to float. So it's got to be able to support what is underneath it. So if you're dragging a 3 mil bead or 2 mil, 2.5 or 2 mils or a 10-foot drag between the bead and the fly, the dry fly, it's got to be able to support that. Okay, otherwise you're going to be getting false indications of takes, and that's no good either because you're going to be striking striking air. One of the most important things it's got to be able to do too, it's got to be able to catch a fish. Okay, so if you're tying clinks for dry dropper, it must achieve all 3 of those things. Otherwise, there's no point. I would be saying there's no point fishing it. This one over the years had done all 3. It's a dry fly, and I'd often be dry droppering up a piece of water, and I always put my clink on the dropper and a little dropper sticking out, and I'm dry droppering up a piece of water, and I'm getting more interest in the dry fly than I am in the nymph. I'll take off this big size 12 or 10 clink, and I'll move it straight to the point where the nymph was, and I'll go straight drying it for a particular length of time till that rises over, or I move out of that piece of water where those fish are quite attracted to it, and and you'll catch plenty of fish on it. So it's also big enough. You've all seen me tie these before, so it's also big enough to support pretty much whatever I want underneath it, and a little bit of hairs here. So if anybody has any questions on clink hammers, I know there's a few guys on that was asking me to do a clink hammer, and if anybody has any particular questions, please by all means shoot them across. Or if you're watching this tomorrow on YouTube or any day during the week at any stage, if you have a question, you can easily shoot me across a message there on Facebook, WhatsApp, or email. I'm going to rib that quite closely with that pearl. And just get it lovely, because I want that to sit down in the water, so I don't want too much of that hare's ear restricting how that's going to sit down into the water film. Once I've got that trimmed off, I'll then trim off my little tail or shook representation, whatever you want to call it. Make sure it's well tied in. So, sorry Declan Noonan, you're right, I didn't actually say that. So this is the Marutu C46 FWBL. Okay, you can all see it there now. That's the one. Okay, another Haku hook. Use that for my clinks. I just like the shape of it. I use the 611 quite a bit too. I picked this one up before I picked up 611. Just giving that a little brush out to tease out any of those longer fibres, and you can get in there and give it a little trim, just to make sure there's nothing that's, I still want that natural look of the hare's ear, but I don't want it just going to be too restrictive of getting that to sit down in the water exactly where I want it to be. Now I'm going to get a bit of a hackle. Excuse me. I'm going to use a little bit of grizzle here. And I just double check that I'm under. That's how I know it's the right size hackle. Put it up on it when I was about to do it. Couple of turns on it like that, and then put another turn or two up along that stem, and then we're good to go. That's fine. For the thorax for this one, I'm going to use a little bit of what's known as Peter Special Dubbin. You see that mix? Again, try to see that mix. I can't honestly tell you what's in it. There's about 10 dubbins in that. As you can see, it's quite a decent sized bag. I make kind of a pack of it every year or two. There is a load of stuff, and it is a Dublin mix that I kind of got from the Czech Republic at a World Championship a good few years ago, and I've managed to keep it. So I still have a small piece of the original, and I just sit down for an entire evening, and I know the base of it is hare's ear, and I know a fair few of the components that are in it. I use it on my pheasant tails, my pheasant tail Frenchies. It is fantastic. Really is, and I know I've sent that stuff to people all over the world. For the Christmas special, I'm going to be giving away a bag of that, if anyone's interested. Can't buy it, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to make it sell. It just takes too long to make. But I am going to give away a little bag of that for the Christmas special. So there's every kind of a colour in it. And I think why that works so well for me in a pheasant tail is because no matter what daylight or sun, I'm trying to get you to kind of get a good visual of what's in that. Now Paul Jenkins, no, I don't. Some people do. I want more hackle in there. I want this to support what's underneath it. No, I don't bother. So that's the Dublin anyway, guys. I'm gonna have a little bag of that for someone on the Christmas special. I'll be asking a question maybe, or someone might be asking a question, and please watch out for it. No, so I don't bother stripping off one size paw. So I'm just going to get a nice tight dubbing on that one. And by the way, for the Christmas special, everyone can win prizes, even Ken. I have no problem shipping prizes to you, Ken, in Tunka Lake. I might even have to deliver them personally if there's restrictions. I wouldn't mind. But yeah, so please, anyone that's online, come for the Christmas special, enter the tournaments, enter the wee competitions, and if you win something, I will make sure you get it. A little bit too much on there, so I'm just going to strip it back a little bit. I'm just putting a little bit of thorax there. But as well, yeah, Kieran, it's fantastic. Yeah, Peter, yeah, you're going to need a couple. It's on our website. You'll see it on our website. It's only a couple of bob, actually. I'm not sure what it is. €2.80. €2.80. Not too bad. Yeah, it is. Get out. Oh, geez, Ken, you don't have to. Oh, God, wouldn't I love a weekend Tunka now? So, everyone has their own way of doing it. I forget who asked me that question about stripping their own side. So by all means, do it your own way. I don't think there's a need for me for the way I tell you. First turn goes on top, and then after that, every turn goes underneath. Okay, every turn is always closer to the body, and that gives you a lovely profile on that hackle, as you can see. Okay, I like that kind of meatiness. Perfect. I'm really, really happy with that. That looks fantastic. Really happy. And then how I finish it off. Some people turn it on the side, whip finish, in under that at the butt of that post. I don't. I simply bend it down across the eye of the hook, have it on the side, get in my Kevlar, trap it in over the hook, keeping tension on that Kevlar. Another one. Two. Kind of hard for you guys to see, but you can see a wrap or two in there now for a second, okay? And a hackle has never come off for me because this. I know some people tie it this way, some people have other ways of finishing it off. This is just the way I do it. I never proclaim to know more than anyone. It's the way I've always kind of done it. So now I'm just holding back a few of those fibres and hackles out of my way just to get the whip finish in there, and I'll get it all straight back up there in a second. Trim it up, and again, similar to the jingler, I am not too fussy about how pretty this is going to be. I want that bit of rustic to it. And I can even remember times fishing small rivers, kind of April, May, June, bit of summer fishing, kind of getting into that summer kind of mode. Fish are moving into that kind of, they still have a little bit of a daily rise on them, but they're not completely committed to the evening rise. And, going up rapids and stuff like that, and dry dropping, and, if you aggressively cast into the rapid, the light riffles and stuff like that, the trout will come up and they'll attack a size 10, even quite a large clink, just out of pure aggression. And I can remember several times over the last couple of seasons, each season, that I would move the dry fly, a large clink up to the point, and become really aggressive with it. Maybe even shorten up that leader and, right down to a 5 or 6 foot leader, and become really aggressive and just whack it into the little riffles in the pockets, leave it on for a microsecond, whip it off and bang it back in there again. And trout were just looking up there in the shot and they spot it and they just attack it. So, it's something I've learned over the last couple of years to add to my arsenal is, be a little bit aggressive there with a dry dropper or a large clink in fast, riffly, light water. Now, this doesn't have to be a big, massive river, and light, riffly water, and it can be absolutely lethal. So the best hackles for, Paul Jenkins has got there before me, Kieran Sherlock, genetic saddles. You can see them here. Mitts, whitenings, really good saddles, long, especially for doing clinks. Okay, that makes a real difference. You can use cock necks for dries as well. I don't have any to show what a cock neck is, but a cock neck, you can use that for dries as well, and it's really, really good. Most guys tend to use the saddles. You do need a saddle. Look, you don't need it, but I would say it's better to tie clinks with saddles because you get that uniform hackle and makes it very easy to tie. So there you go. You can see that clink. Very fishy again. Has that nice rustic look to it. Sits beautifully in the surface film. A little bit of a shuck tail sticking out of it. High vis parapost. Plenty of hackle there to support what I have underneath it. And I can guarantee you that catches fish. So all three bases are covered. And that's one that's definitely going to go into the box. So there you have it, folks. Couple of nice dries for you. Hope tonight. I hope he's enjoyed it. Great to see so many people back on. Don't forget to check out Josh's Kickstarter program on Fishcoin. Really going to be a fantastic app. Really appreciate anyone that gets in there to support Josh. He's a really good friend of mine, and he has helped me out to no end over the last couple of years. So returning the favour for Josh. He will be on. You'll get to see him here in 2 weeks' time until the Christmas special. If anybody has any videos, please send them on. Please send them on this week or some stage before Christmas Day. Gives me a bit of time to get them all kind of edited and put together. And thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed your Saturday night. Thanks for everyone for their support. Not going to be back here next week, don't forget. So Thomas Anketel, happy Christmas to yourself, sir. And see everybody on Sunday night, the 27th. I'll be putting up plenty of posts to let you all, so no one forgets. Sunday night, the 27th, and we will be starting at 8 p.m. that night, okay? Hope everyone enjoyed the night. Thanks for your support. Don't forget, if you need any fly fishing gear, fly tying gear, check out www.piscarifly.com. And fantastic, so many people contributing tonight. Some great information up there. This will be on YouTube tomorrow. Watch out tomorrow morning for the competition. And everybody, enjoy your Saturday night, what's left of it. See you all in 2 weeks after Christmas. Enjoy Christmas and happy Christmas to everyone. Hope everyone has a safe and happy Christmas. And I'll see you all on the 27th. Good night, everybody.